From post-match victory scenes to being thrown in the trash, these are 20 things that made losing a match in WWE games way worse.
But before we begin, this video is sponsored by Babbel, a learning language app that teaches you to speak, read, and listen in new languages. It provides tools for real-world conversations, including lessons, games, podcasts, videos, and live online classes, so you can become fluent or just learn a few phrases to get you by on your next trip. It's scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in 3 weeks, and it's designed by real language teachers. And with a 20-day money-back guarantee, why wouldn't you want to put it to the test? You get 2 live classes with your subscription, and there are a few different subscriptions to choose from, including a lifetime one. Click on the link below and you'll get 60% off, so start learning today.
Losing in WWE games isn't cool, and Carlito would always make sure to remind you of that if you lost to him in SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, as in his victory scene, he would grab an apple, take a bite out of it, and spit the apple in your loser face. But that's nothing compared to this next moment, which featured worms in your mouth. That's right, in SVR 07 once more, if you lost to the Boogeyman, he would celebrate beating you by grabbing some worms and shoving them right down your mouth. Surprisingly, this isn't the only time something disgusting was used after losing a match. Because if you lost to Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, he'd shove some money down your throat, and you might be thinking, damn, this isn't too bad, I got paid to lose. Until you realise where you got that money from. Yeah, this moment definitely stings, and it sure is an embarrassing way to take an L. And speaking of embarrassing, there was that time you were left running away after losing. Well, you didn't run off because you lost, it's because you had Jake the Snake doing this to you in Legends of WrestleMania. And while all these post-match antics make losing worse and embarrassing, you don't get beat up, unlike these next moments. Because if you lost to Umaga in SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, well, you would have seen this happen. And also in WWE 2K15, if you lost to Bray Wyatt whilst having the entire Wyatt family at ringside, then you would have seen this post-match beating. And I can't mention all these post-match beatings without bringing up the classic post-match breakout, which has always been a great way to put a little extra beating on your opponent, except it kind of sucks having it done to you when you were the one losing. Getting beat up and embarrassed after a match are not the only things that can make losing a match even worse in WWE games. You can get cheated by a referee who is clearly having vision problems because they missed this clear rope break. Or you could have had a guest referee who was anything but impartial, which caused you a loss. Or you could have been a straight up goof who decides to do a low blow right in front of the ref, which gets you the obvious DQ loss. Maybe next time try and do it when the ref isn't looking. Genius. There's many things that made losses much worse, but this next one definitely hurt a lot of us. We've all had it happen before. We've played through the Royal Rumble match, got an early number, and things are going great. You got a few eliminations here and there, you're on around about the 20th or something entrant, and then boom, out of nowhere, you're gone, out of the match, eliminated. It always makes losing a Royal Rumble match so much worse when you start from the early numbers, get so far, only to fall short right at the end. And falling short is exactly the opposite reason why this next loss happened. In Raw 2, if you have a Hell in a Cell match, then make sure you stay away from them edges on the roof, because if you get thrown off just once, then it's game over. Even if you're at full health and have taken no damage, if you are thrown off, you will instantly lose the match by KO. I mean, I guess it's realistic, other than the guy getting right back up. Yeah, it's such a terrible way to lose a match. Loss by falling off a cage isn't one you want to admit anytime soon. And another one you won't want to admit is this one from SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Because in SVR 07, if you are in a parking lot brawl, you can literally lose the match by being thrown in the trash. If your opponent has 2 finishers stored, then you better stay away from that thing. But what you better do is stay near the ring in this next moment. Well, why would you need to stay near the ring? That's because in some games, there was a stamina system, and games like SVR 06 and 07 would punish your lack of stamina awareness by making it impossible to move for a few seconds. So imagine if you're outside, running around the stage like we all do of course, and you suddenly lose all that stamina. Well, you know what you get? A loss that you definitely don't want to admit ever happened. That's not the only time you screwed up and got yourself an embarrassing loss. Remember the quick time events in showcase mode? Most of the time, failing these would just lead to your opponent getting some offense in, you get beat up a little bit, but there is those rare quick time event failures that end a match, like this one from WWE 2K16.
Dude Love about to get sent for the ride. Wait, a reversal, JR. Dude Love looking for an advantage. He may have it here, the abdominal stretch. McMahon wants the bell to be wrong. Oh, look at this, JR. Vince McMahon is instructing the timekeeper to ring the bell. He's doing it. And the match is over. What the hell's going on here? This is not Montreal.
What? Look at this.
Dude Love wins the match. Oh, McMahon got Austin again, and Austin is irate. He's livid.
I don't blame him. Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is crazy, JR. Look at this.
Austin got screwed.
But not all of these are your own fault. Sometimes we had to put our trust in some dodgy AI tag team partner who just didn't want to do the job of being a tag team partner. For example, in Attitude, if you're taking a bit of a beating, you'd expect your partner to come in and save the day. But instead, this guy's shouting for a tag. Nice going. Not only did you not get the tag, you lost us the match. Idiot.
Oh, you piss me off.
And then there's also times where your sneaky opponent would call for an interference or a distraction that led to your loss. It's not your fault, but it definitely makes taking the L a little worse. But this next one is a loss that isn't our fault, and we can't do anything about it. In some WWE games career modes, there's these matches where no matter what you do, you will lose that match, making it completely unwinnable for you. You've seen it all before. You're giving your opponent a beating, you think you're about to win, and then boom, cutscene plays, and you've lost.
Come on, you don't hit a WWE official.
It was clearly an accident, Corey.
But one that it looks like Ava is willing to take advantage of.
Drop toe hold onto the chair.
A chair, a downed referee, and an opportunity? What's she gonna do?
Looks like both these women are ready to play dirty. She's going to use the chair.
Ava with a bit of a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. And now the referee thinks she used the chair. It's a disqualification.
It may not be the ending to this match we deserve, but it's the one we got.
I can't imagine either of these two women are terribly happy with the outcome.
I don't know, Cole. Looks like Ava might be. And at the end of the day, it's still a W for her.
Now, whilst that is frustrating, only players of WrestleMania 19 on the GameCube will know this level of frustration that goes into playing Revenge mode. In this wild mode, you have to complete a bunch of random tasks within a time limit. Trust me, there's nothing worse in a WWE game than playing Revenge mode and getting close to finishing a difficult level only for the time to expire. And lastly, remember when you got turned into a druid for losing to The Undertaker in SmackDown vs. Raw 2011's vs. Undertaker Road to WrestleMania?
This doesn't look good. He's being overwhelmed.
What? I can't see.
I mean, come on. Losing at WrestleMania is bad enough already. Did you really have to turn me into a druid too? Don't you think that's a bit too much overkill? I guess it isn't as bad as that Ted DiBiase dollar in the mouth though. Whew.